Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Maku.
Kobayashi.
This is going to be a little special of an episode. It's actually going to be quite longer than normal because we're actually going to be talking about 12 and 13 for episodes of Bleach. Go ahead and pop it out first, Kobayashi.
Yeah, so episode 12 and 13 is the season finale for Bleach. And we actually get new news for, I want to say season 2, but part 2 for Bleach. Part 2 is coming in July. They also dropped the trailer for part 2. The trailer is pretty nice. I don't know if you've seen it, Maku, but it is pretty good. It shows like clips of obviously the Quincy's, and then it shows like this one clip of Hisagaya. During this episode too, I might be jumping the gun, but Hisagaya was actually like, he went to like train with like, I want to say lower, but like obviously Hisagaya's a captain, but he went to like try to redefine his roots, or like,
yeah, it would make sense though, because when you jump too far ahead of levels, then you start forgetting fundamentals, and I guess that's what he was trying to go for, just to hone his actual talent.
Yeah, because if you guys don't remember, Hisagaya got his Bankai stolen, so he's trying to create a new Bankai from scratch.
If you guys want to see the trailer for yourselves, I'll go ahead and put a link down in below.
Yeah, so for episode 12, it's basically the continuation of episode 11. It's just the second half of the flashback of Ichigo's dad, explaining how him and Misaki, Ichigo's mom, explaining basically like how Ichigo's power is what it is.
Yeah, so essentially towards the beginning of it, all you see is Ichigo's mother, and she just ended up fainting. You see Uryu's dad instantly just drop down, and the auntie being like very frantic, just saying oh.
Yeah.
So Uryu just ended up carrying, Uryu's dad. He ended up carrying Ichigo's mom, and that's when they end up bumping into Ichigo's dad, right? So this is where we realize that Ichigo's mom is holifying. So she has like this little hole with veins all around it, and just pulsating.
I want to say little. I'll say it's quite big of a hole. It's like
no, because normal hollows have like a huge hole. So that's why I said little.
Yeah, but I guess to the human body, I want to say little.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then Ichigo's dad pulls up, and then Uryu's dad basically just blames Ichigo's dad. He blames Ishin's, like, this is your fault. She shouldn't have saved you. You're a Shinigami. We're Quincy's. We shouldn't even be helping each other in the first place. And then Ichigo's dad, obviously, he felt responsible for what happened. And then the funny part is that Urahara just pops up out of nowhere, and basically says, I can save this woman. So they went back to his shop. Basically, he just tells them straight up, he's like, I can save this woman, but she won't be back to normal. And then basically gives like actually I kind of forgot.
He gives two ultimatums. He ends up giving either he saves her unethically, and then the other way, which is Ichigo's dad, he has to be the complete opposite of what Ichigo's mom is, right? He has to. So Ichigo's mom at this point in time, she's a hollow and a Quincy. So Ichigo's dad has to become he already is a Soul Reaper, or a Shinigami, and a human. But he has to become like in the midst of it, like transforming between both. So that's the root of where Ichigo's dad has to pop in to help Ichigo's mom.
Yeah, he just needs to be just the counter opposite of it to stabilize it. So in order for Ishin to become a human, he has to get rid of all his he has to go in this Gigai, like what Rukia did. And obviously you guys know what Gigai is. He has to go to his Gigai. He cannot be a Soul Reaper while he's in this Gigai. He cannot see hollows at this time. He cannot see anything. He's just a normal human. And the procedure went, obviously Ichigo's dad took the offer, because he's like your typical, what's the word for it?
Chad. Essentially, that's what he is.
Yeah, I guess he is a Chad. He didn't even hesitate as well, and Uryu's dad was really surprised, because he was just saying, wow, there's like no pros for him, there's just pure cons. So obviously Misaki, she's alive, and basically it just pans out to their like college life.
Yeah.
and what they do after the incident. So we get to see Ichigo's dad. He's just living like a normal human. You can see he opens up his clinic.
Yeah, no, it shows like a just quick montage of like a sunshine life essentially.
Mhm.
Then it just sort of pans out towards the end of it, right? Where they were explaining Ichigo's mom's type of reshe, or like her, because so little backtrack, Yuhawk, or not Yuhawk. This moment in time, keep in mind this is a story, so Ichigo's dad explaining to Ichigo what this whole situation is about, and he was explaining every single person, every single Quincy has a part of Yuhawk in them. So then this is where supposedly the Quincy's powers weren't active or something along those lines, or they were active until Yuhawk was awake, or was at the point of awakening or regaining his strength, something along those lines.
Yeah, because in the beginning of the first episode, remember the quote? It was 900 years he lost his mind, 90 years to regain his strength, and 9 years to... I forgot the quote.
9 months to regain his body or something like that.
Basically, the quote. And basically, this whole issue, because after the whole story, Ichigo asked his dad a important question. He's like, so why was my mom killed then?
Yeah.
And this is part of where Mako was explaining. His dad basically says, 9 years ago, in this specific date, the Quincy King, obviously Yuhawk, he regained 9 years ago when Ichigo's mom passed away. She lost all of her powers, and not just Ichigo's mom too. Every Quincy at that time lost all their powers because it was absorbed by Yuhawk, because he just regained his strength. Also, in the midst of this death, Uryu's mom, which was also revealed, was also the maid of Uryu's family. Which I kind of find that kind of fascinating. But either way, yeah, she passed away too. Ichigo's mom passed away. And to be fair, if you're looking at it this point from the family tree aspect, Ichigo and Uryu, they're kind of cousins, or I don't know if they're cousins, but would you say they're cousins?
I don't know. I forgot what that term is called. Step cousins. Because in us, I guess they are cousins.
No, they're cousins because
because
Ichigo's mom is cousins to Uryu's dad.
Yeah, I assume something trivial will come up like that later on in the show. They'll be like, "Oh, you're my cousin" or something along those lines.
I don't think so.
Just for comedic.
I don't think so. See, Ichigo, he doesn't. I mean, looking back at it, like the one thing that does piss me off about this whole, it explains like some plot holes. It explains the reason why Ichigo is so strong. But then there's some plot holes that it shows, like when Rangiku and Toshiro, they knew about Ichigo's dad, obviously. So when they saw Ichigo looks like his dad, right? And basically, he kind of has the same Zanpakuto as his dad. And he uses the same moveset. His dad created the Gensuga Tensho. Obviously, Ichigo just spams that move.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I don't know. Maybe that's just a minute thing, but that kind of like bothered me a little. But either way, to continue back where I was on, Ichigo's mom died because she couldn't use her Quincy powers anymore, and that's how that lowly hollow devoured her. And that's pretty much that episode. Actually, no, there's a little bit at the end where Ichigo, he's heading out, and his Ichigo's boss comes up to Ichigo's house and basically hands him back his the Shinigami like compass thing. And then his dad asks the important question. He's like, "So how are you gonna get back there?" And then this random little girl, obviously she's part of the Oetsu like bodyguard, she just pops up, steals Ichigo, and that's the end of episode 12.
Episode 13 didn't waste no time. It literally instantly went to the pit with a bunch of like, I forgot
the
what they were.
Asayuchis.
Yeah, they were all there.
The nameless Zanpakutos, essentially.
And they were all there. Obviously, the one that Ichigo was picking was already excluded. So,
to be fair, this scene was pretty sick because all the Asayuchi, they're all like bowing down to Ichigo and just formed like a pathway to Ichigo's Zanpakuto. It was a pretty cool scene.
So yeah, they ended up locking arms, and the black the black stuff around them just ended up peeling off of the nameless Zanpakuto that Ichigo actually chose.
And then it cuts to the Soul Society, and from earlier what I was talking about, it cuts to like Hitsugaya training. Basically, it's like a whole montage of the captains trying to re-up their strength. So we see the fox dude, he's talking to the great elder of his clan, and some big dog. It's pretty funny and reminds me of this TikTok. I'm the biggest bird, I'm the biggest bird. But, yeah, anyways. Yeah, we get to see Soifun, she's training, and then her useless lieutenant, he's just playing like ball with his little sister. That guy's so useless. I don't know how he's a lieutenant. Actually, I do know why, because he's part of this like noble clan. They're always good, but he's like useless. He's so useless. God. Even his Shikai's so useless. Oh my god. You know his Shikai's what's that one thing called? It's a ball with spikes on it, and you like throw it, and you can retrieve it back. I don't know the word for it.
A mace?
Is it a mace? I don't know.
Yeah, maces are usually like it's a wooden stick with a chain around it, and with a spiky ball.
Yeah,
at the
spiky
top.
ball. Yeah,
okay, that's a mace.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's useless. I mean, you can make use of it, but he does not. Anyways, enough about him. Useless guy. Yeah, it's just a training montage, and then it finally goes back to Ichigo and Oitsu, and basically Oitsu, he's forging his sword.
Yeah, he's forging his sword, and Oitsu literally told Ichigo, "Oh, yeah, go ahead and say your goodbyes to Zangetsu."
Mm-hmm. And then Ichigo was confused at this point.
Yeah, pretty much he was confused, and he didn't really understand what he was talking about. So,
but at the same time, he kind of did.
It then just like went to the domain where Ichigo and Zangetsu, they always talk. So then he was starting to realize how eerily similar Zangetsu and Yu-Hawk actually look like. So then this is where
so Oitsu basically told Ichigo, you need to not damn, I forgot the word. I just remember the word, but now I forgot. It's like, because Ichigo, he knew it was Yu-Hawk when he first met him, right? Because that's what he said. He knew, but he just, what's the word for it? It's like, he knew it was him, not denial. So Ichigo was in denial. He didn't want to believe that Zangetsu was Yu-Hawk. But obviously in reality, Zangetsu is Yu-Hawk. To be more precise, it's Yu-Hawk from 1,000 years ago. And this makes sense because obviously Yu-Hawk, he's a Quincy. There's a Quincy side of Ichigo. White, also known as Ichigo's like Hollow, is also part of him. And then Rukia awakened his Shinigami's powers. But the Fullbringer, I forgot what happened to Full.
So then, yeah, so he ended up realizing it. And then Zangetsu, or at this moment in time, his Quincy side, he ended up spouting at him, "I'm not Zangetsu, I'm not who you think I am." And he ended up saying, "You chose to be a Soul Reaper. I don't want to be a part of this." And he ended up just like getting Thanos snapped. Like literally, he just ended up disappearing.
Yeah.
And said, "Thank you for letting me go. Thank you for not letting me be a part of this."
Yeah. So Zangetsu or Yu-Hawk, he has always been holding Ichigo back. Like he's been suppressing his power. And obviously, the person that saves him is White, Ichigo's hollow side. When Ichigo was losing against Ukiura, his Vassalorde popped up. Ichigo's hollow right there. When Ichigo was losing to Byakuya with the hollow mask, that's when White popped up again. So obviously, Yu-Hawk has always trying to suppress him because he wants him to become a more Quincy-like. But Ichigo chose the path to the Shinigami, never looked back, and just continued. And that is why Zangetsu, also known as Yu-Hawk, parted ways with Ichigo.
So as soon as he ended up disappearing, you see this really, I'd say it's pretty cool. It's a really cool great sword that is just fully blue, fully made out of reshe, or at least that's what it seems, because it's just fully blue, but it has like that reshe tinge to it. I don't know how to explain it. It's really cool.
The sword, what that Ichigo has?
No, the one that popped up.
Oh, that sword. That's a Yuhak sword. He used it in battle against
No. And he said, and that's where he ended up saying, "Go ahead and take me." But then in the real world, that's when he ended up. You end up seeing his actual Zanpakuto, or Zanpakutos in this case, because it actually ended up being two.
Yeah. So Ichigo is now a dual wielder.
Yeah. So.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. No. It's like I said, the swords are actually pretty cool. They're the same black tinge, but the only difference that he's dual wielding them. But
well, yeah, one is longer than the other. So I want to say his right side is longer than his left. His left looks like kind of like a saw blade, and his right is like a your traditional. Well, I wouldn't say even traditional. It's just like a sword, but like a unique sword. And then it was pretty cool too. When he pulled it out, he like evaporated the entire like ocean around him. And it was a pretty cool scene, to be fair. And the girls in the background, they're like, "Oh my god, wow!"
But yeah, that's where I left it off at.
There was this one final scene too, before we end things off. Is Uryu? Well, it's actually Uryu and Yorium. They're meeting up with Yuhak, and then Yuhak just says, "Welcome, my son," and we just see Uryu bowing down. Most likely, Uryu's gonna play an important role in Core 2 or Part 2 for Bleach. Like I said, it's coming up in July. It was actually I predicted it was gonna be like September, October-ish, but it came actually pretty earlier than I expected. And the one thing that Kubo, obviously the mangaka of Bleach, he's helping with the anime. He's saying that Part 2 is gonna even look more amazing, animation-wise. And obviously, Part 1 looks amazing enough, but they said Part 2 is gonna look more. I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, no, there was specific scenes with, I believe it was the one where Ichigo, he had the black and white look, and then there's like his other form, he had colored. Oh, this is the scene where he was in his domain essentially. Ichigo was like sort of in black and white, and Yuhak was in color, but Yuhak actually looked very crispy. Like you could see his like full like it's really cool.
There's this one scene too where I want to put in this episode. It's like Ichigo is like surrounded by flames, and we get to see Zangetsu, Yuhak's like 1,000-year-old self, and White, his hollow self. It's a pretty cool like scene right there. It's really nice. But yeah, animation for this whole Part 1, for the whole first 13 episodes, has been really good. I've seen some people complain. I'm like, why are you complaining, bro? The heck? No. Either way.
Those are just people that like to hate on.
They're useless like that one guy.
In any case, guys, you guys can go ahead and let us know what you guys think about these two episodes. In our opinion, this is, in my opinion, to be honest, the season actually ended up great. I don't know if you would think the same.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, we think very similarly. But if you guys have any other opinions, go ahead and let us know in the comments down below. Another thing to point out, if you guys have any anime you would like us to talk about in specific, please let us know. My name is Maku.
It's Kobayashi.
And thank you.